Yo, what's good, chat? What's good? Can we do a quick audio check here? What's up, Michael? What's up, Ice? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to another banger, yeah? What's up, Tom? JJ Tiger. What's up, Leon? We got Maurice. Grant, what's up, man? Oleg, Peter, Michael. We got all the gangsters with us today. All right, that's good. That's good. Karma GG's, what's up, man? Got Daniel, Daytona, Marvin, Adam, Uzi, Ginar, Jesso. Shit, we got a good company today with us. Good afternoon, man. What's up, Nico? Stemo, Moon Man, what's up, bro? How are you guys doing? And did you guys enjoy the little YouTube series that we did last week? I mean, shit, man, we nailed that shit, didn't we? To the tick. That single print gap fill there, holy. I'm gonna be obnoxious if we're going to go towards all-time high next. I'll be retweeting my shit for fucking 2 weeks. You know that. I got family defeat. That's right, Grant. That's right. Well, good though. We good. They have been profitable to you, the series. That's good, man. You guys were able to make some quality trades based on that. Like, it's good, right? Knowing where and when to trade based on TPO. Looking for video 7. Yeah, I know, but I wanted to do it, but then again, right? Everything that I wanted to get out was already discussed in the series 5, the 5th video, where we were talking about the weekly single prints and the naked value area high, which one was coming first, and whichever came first, I'd be taking that trade. And today I wanted to do a video, but I thought it would be nice to do like a breakdown of this week today and go over the trades, knowing why we took the trade, why we're currently long, what I'm targeting, and so on. So that's going to be I think today is going to be a good stream, man, because we just have a good amount of data to work with. Also, we've got like a monthly close in 4 days, so we do have new monthly value to work with. So I don't know, it's going to be a banger. Thought I missed the stream because I'm traveling. The rain made my girlfriend want to go back home, so things worked out perfectly. That's good, Dino. That's good to hear, bro. That's good. We had a shit day in terms of weather here as well. Like, it's rainy, then it's sunny, rainy, sunny. I mean, that's not really something that I want to have. But we just gotta work with it. So first things first, before we're going to be checking things out in terms of TPO, VWAP, trades for the week ahead, I do want to mention that this stream is sponsored by Bybit. Now, I get a lot of questions regarding the affiliate system, which is why I just pulled up our dashboard here, which you can see on the screen. So basically, the thing that we implemented with them is that whenever you're new to Bybit, you can simply make an account, click one of these buttons. So the streams is sponsored by Bybit. But, some people are not able to trade on that, which is why we do have the blow-in option as well. So all you have to do, make an account, select the exchange here, whether that's going to be blow-in or Bybit, type your user ID, hit connect, and then you can click join Discord. You will be able to join the Discord. You will be given a temporary role until your volume thresholds are met. And then once they're met, you can just move forward and you will be added to the Discord, the courses, and so on. So for those of you who do want to have this feature, we have that. Credits to Bybit for making it possible. Now, let's have a look here. First things first. As you guys know, prep, what do we have? Today it is the 28th of... No, it's not the 28th, it's the 27th. I'm getting ahead of myself for tomorrow's prep. So today is actually the 27th of July, which means we have monthly close really close around the corner, right? It's coming close. So that's going to be a very interesting talking point when we're getting to the VWAP section. But tick size is 100 in terms of TPO. Impact for news events, what do we have next week? Next week is stacked, right? But as you guys know, I'm no macro expert whatsoever. I simply trade my horizontal lines, which means I'll be looking at TPO, I'll be looking at VWAP. I don't give two shits about what's happening here, right? Usually, for example, I tweeted about it the other day, right? We were talking about the weekly single prints here based on TPO. If we're taking a look here, on this regular chart here, let's zoom in a bit more. I was talking about the upper half of of this single print gap. Now, sure, we got the Satoshi era whale dumping fucking, what was it, 5 billion, 6 billion, 7 billion, I don't know, right? But funny thing is, we already marked this out to get along there. So this is just an indication that, the meme, right? Where they're like, well, show me the chart and I will tell you the news, right? So for me, I'm just going to be sticking with my levels of interest, and it's going to be pretty clear as they heading into this week. Good evening, Stein. Good to know that you enjoy the short-term videos, man. That's good. Goedenavond. So back to the prep, right? Got a shit ton of things to account for. Starting off on, we got jolts on Tuesday, but I think, majority of the market moving events are going to be around the FOMC statement, conference, and so on, which is on Wednesday. So I want to be aware of that. Let's get the mic out of my throat. We've got FOMC on Wednesday as a likely driver for the next leg up or down. And that's going to be it, right? I'm not going to be putting too much emphasis around the rest. Now, in terms of developments, let's go and take a look at TPO. And similar to the videos like I did last week, let's start off on the week. So right here, the weekly, let's select it. Let's open it up, put it in a bigger screen. So as you know, right here, let's get rid of that. At the beginning of the video series, I talked about when we open up within this week, when we open up, we're rotational within that week. And I have my eyes on the upper half of the single prints, right? Now, why is it the upper half of the single prints that is important? Well, for me, the thing that initiated this huge break higher, right? That needs to be capping downside. And usually whenever an asset, whether that's going to be Bitcoin, equities, whatever it is, right? If it's going to be bullish, then the upper half of that single print is going to be capping the downside. You don't really want to see an entire fill of the single print because that would actually be bearish, right? And this is why we had this as a level of interest. Now we're going to be fine-tuning that by looking at VWAP as well in a bit. But so far, we just, we rebalanced the single prints there. And now what are we doing? We're basically, let me get that out of the way here. So this is previous week value right there. What do? We had a deviation below previous week value area low, acceptance back within. Where do we go? Opposite side, right? The previous week value area high. Now, I think there's a pretty decent chance that we're getting a weekly close within previous week value. What does that mean? For those of you who were watching the video series on YouTube, know that I like to merge profiles to form a composite, right? Do we have a 50% or more value overlap here with the previous week? Yes. Right click, merge. This gives us a 2-week composite. Let's adjust the value area based on that. Value area high, value area low. And now going into next week, I might just continue the series, not on every day, but I think it would be cool to just do a video when something important happens, right? So we filled in the single prints. What's next? When nothing happens, when we're still within a rotation environment, I don't think that I'll be uploading every day. But important things, I think that would be cool to do. So heading into next week, what are we looking at? We're looking at this, a 2-week value area high and a 2-week value area low, meaning above, bullish, below, bearish, in the middle, neutral, right? We're fading the extremes of value until proven otherwise. Now there's something interesting here where the 2-week value area high is confluent with the developing month value area high. I will show you that in a bit, but that's going to be our bearish line in the sand heading into next week. Acceptance above, bullish, naked value area high. So why is that? Let's minimize this again, right? Get that here. 2-week composite. The monthly, not going to be looking at that right here because there's nothing of interest there. So I will spare you the time. And then we've got the composite and the daily. So let's just take a look at this daily, right? So let's enable this. What Bitcoin basically has done is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days overlapping value in, I think it was video 3, where I talked about if there's going to be an anomaly, then we're likely to get this day, but towards the downside. Do you guys remember that, right? When this is the spike away from value, we're often getting something similar where we take out these lows into the single print. What's up, Richard? And then reclaim it for upside again. And in the latest video, I talked about weekly single prints versus a naked value high, which is going to be first. If we hadn't tagged these lows and took out this high into the weekly, into this naked value high, I would have been looking for shorts for a rotation lower. But now instead, we're just filling in these inefficiencies, took out this anomaly, and we're back within the composite. So the market is telling us here that we tried to break away from value, failed to do so. Now we're back to a rotational environment. If we can cleanly break above that value area high, we're gonna go for the naked value area high, right? Because what? The market is a Tetris game. Do you guys know that game, right? Where we fill in the inefficiencies. That is why a naked point of control becomes a level of interest, or a naked value area high becomes a level of interest, because it's an anomaly, right? And the market tends to clean those up. So what do I want to be aware of in terms of TPO? We're about to form a 2-week composite. That's good because it will give us a directional bet in terms of if we accept above or below. We are back within the 14-day composite. So the market is currently telling us that it failed to break lower and now it's back to the mean. We have an anomaly in the form of a naked value high there. And then we've got a naked point control there, and we cleaned up the single prints. Do we have anything else? No, that's it. So let me just write that down. Let's go back, go to the prep, market profile. We formed a 14-day composite value area with the value area high that's at 119. I'm gonna give you the value so you guys can ride along as well for the prep and mark these out on your charts. The value low is at 117, 190. Then we filled in the weekly singles at 115. Okay, right? That's what we were talking about. We have acceptance back within the... I'm going to check out the chat in a bit, guys. Back within the 14-day composite value area. Naked value area high at 121.7 remains. We have... Oh, yeah. I wanted to show you guys that. Poor lows. Look. Let me zoom in. What's this? That's a poor low. Now, keep this in mind because I will show you guys the structure based on price action in a bit. And this is where things are going to be starting to line up with everything, right? Where I'm like, okay, we got an anomaly there. There's something here as well. Hint, right side of the chart, right? And then we've got like a reason to rebalance that. So we got 2 stacked poor lows there. Back to the prep. Poor lows on today and yesterday profile. And then the final thing is that forming a 2-week composite. Rotational for now, right? Because if we're accepting above, we are imbalance up. So let's quickly go over the chat. Let's give it a couple of seconds. Daniel's asking, do you not include the previous week for a 3-week composite? No, because one of the rules that I have is that whenever it's a breakout week, then I'm not going to be including that because it's merely a small part of the week. The better thing to do would actually be to, if we quickly take a look at this, let's expand this, undo all merges. Let me just show you. So you do not add all of this dog shit within a perfectly balanced 2 weeks. If you really want to get into the nitty gritty, you can expand this within its own column and then you can split the profile there. Split profile. Let's do it in its own column there. And then we're having like, okay, we got like the 2.5 week composite here. But you'll have to ask yourself, why do these values work? Why does it work? Why are we getting super clean rotations within the value area high and the value area low? It is because more people are watching the same level, right? And if you really are going to be digging around, you know, trying to split everything and getting everything perfect, how many people are going to be doing this? 90% of the platforms within crypto aren't even able to split a profile, right? So, you know, should we be splitting profile? Nah, I don't think so. We can just work with the 2-week composite. Undo splits right there. But great question. I use static VWAP levels indeed, and I'm going to be showing you guys that now. Like that. Steam was asking, when do you plan on making Sierra chart tutorial series? Bro, if you want me to make a series about Sierra chart, like, you'll need to watch hours of content, because it's not just a single video where I'm like, oh, this is it, right? If I'm going to go towards the study settings, for example, on TPO alone, like explaining everything and what it does, it's not like a 5-minute video, right? It's like it's like, you know, an entire course on itself. So moving forward, right here, VWAP. What do we have? Starting off on the yearly, for those of you who are new to the channel, this is yearly VWAP, this is quarterly VWAP, we've got monthly VWAP, and then we've got the weekly VWAP as well. Now, on the yearly, I would suggest, or, you know, I would argue that, I've said this before, the thing that I like here is that we have the standard deviation 4 from 2024 lining up with the standard deviation 3 from the developing year. If this is indeed going to be the low and Bitcoin gets an expansion higher, I'm thinking 128 is going to be the next big ass resistance, right? Should we get a daily close like that, this becomes daily support. Any pullback into that level can be seen as a buying opportunity for upside towards this high, that high, and then potentially even into that structure. If we accept below the 14-day composite and shit's hitting the fan, I think, you know, this is going to be a potential target, 112.5. But can we use the yearly heading into this week? No, there's nothing that we can really use short term. Now, the quarterly, I see a lot of people talking about quarterly VWAP. Please do not talk about quarterly VWAP until we got at least 1 month of VWAP, or, you know, at least 1 month of data within the quarter. So within 4 days, we can start using the developing quarterly value, because right now, developing quarterly value is monthly value, right? It's the same. It's exactly the same. But when this month closes and this continues to develop, that's when we're going to be starting off using that developing value. So we're above previous quarterly value high. That's good. Can we use this? No. So let's move towards the monthly. And this is where things are getting really interesting, because we're going to be having, and let me get this on the bigger screen, because we're going to be having a new previous month value. Let me show what happened within the previous times that we formed a previous month value, right? This is previous month value high, accepted back within, formed a low at the VWAP, auctioned back towards value high, gapped upside, broke back towards VWAP, broke below VWAP, retested resistance, formed the actual low, pushed all the way towards value high, right? New month, where do we go? VWAP, support, buying opportunity, acceptance above, time and space, right? You guys know that by now. Buying opportunity, there we go. Do you see how important monthly VWAP is? Monthly value, especially previous month value. Going forward, that means within 4 days, we're having a new previous month value. Value area high, value area low, right? Expand this throughout time, VWAP. So, in short, if Bitcoin is able to accept above previous month value high, similar to how it did here, this is a buying opportunity. We're going to be targeting new highs. If Bitcoin is taking out all of the highs, let me just get rid of this. If Bitcoin is sweeping the highs, taking out the naked value high there, and then it tries to hold previous month value high support, but it just slices straight through, right? Then what do? Look, slices straight through. We're getting this, looking for a pullback, get short towards a full reversion lower, right? Acceptance above, long if it holds, for continuation higher. So that is going to be the next best trade in my opinion, right? Previous month value high, acceptance above, hold the support, continuation higher. Acceptance above, see you later alligator, slices straight through. Short on the pullback, target VWAP. Acceptance below VWAP, value area low, right? So this is going to be the make it or break it for me. Now, in terms of confluence, remember the 2-week value area high that we had on TPO? That's up here, right? So this bear line in the sand. Acceptance above, bullish. Failure to hold, bearish. Okay. So let's write that down. Prep. Let's go back to the weekly. The weekly, try to break below previous week value. Acceptance back within, rotational here within previous week value, okay? So let's go to the prep and let's write everything down. Then we're going to be taking a look at the rolling VWAP, and then I'll be taking a look at the chat. So long-term VWAP. Failed to break below previous week value low. Failed to break below developing month VWAP. Monthly, I think I show you guys something as well. Monthly value closing within 4 days. Developing month value high confluent with 2 week value high bearish line in the sand. Now, the post that I did on Twitter was, do I have the rolling VWAP here? No. Was this, right? Monthly VWAP. This was exact, and we had the 30-day rolling VWAP. I'll show you guys in a bit. But this, I mean, everybody was shitting their pants. Like, this is peak trading there. Best risk to reward to get long. Where everybody was saying, oh no, Satoshi era, Bitcoin whale dumping all of his shit. Yeah, all right, I'll be buying. See you later, alligator. See, another clear picture, perfect picture where you just need to be trading your levels. I can't get out of my words anymore. Shit, I'm getting old. All right, so prep, rolling VWAP, what are we doing? Let's go back to a regular chart. Let's hide the drawings for now. And let's take a look. Rolling VWAP, what are we doing? Let's get rid of the weekly. The weekly 7-day, be gone. So, the first time since we broke away from the 30-day rolling VWAP as a trend following system, right? This was the first time. Huge move away from value. Second time, right? I mean, it shouldn't be hard. It's just, you know, you just need to know where to look for these trades. 30-day rolling VWAP, trend following system. If we're getting below, game over, right? We're flushing it. Fucking hell. Don't know why I did that. But as long as we hold above, like bullish towards these highs, in my opinion. Okay, so that's looking good. 30-day capping downside, reclaimed 7-day as well. So both the longer term and the short term trend is looking pretty good, in my opinion. 7-day here. And the 7-day is actually confluent with, we're going to be taking a look here at some lines. Remember the composite that we're trading in. So I am long from this low, right? From the post on Twitter, I'm long. And I've taken profits here and just now there as well before we were streaming, because this is the range that we're trading within. And, you know, remember what I said, all we know is balance, right? It is balance until proven otherwise. This is a great area to take some profits if you're long from the low. I mean, that's what, it's like a $4,000 move, bro. Like, you know, beautiful. Now, the thing that catches my eye here is we've got an H4 order block there. So H4 support for my price action traders. We've got a 7-day rolling VWAP and the 14-day composite value low. If, and that's going to be a big if, because usually when Bitcoin forms a low, there's no time. Like, this is FOMO, right? Everybody was shorting this shit, and now everybody's like, oh no, I'm missing out, right? They got FOMO. So, you know, usually when that occurs, we don't really get the picture perfect pullback back into structure before a new high. So I personally wouldn't be surprised to just see this consolidation, tries to break below the developing month value, fails to do so, boom. Next push higher into the negative value area high. But it is interesting to take note of the confluence of the 7-day and the 14-day composite value low. So I want to be aware of that. Reclaim 7-day confluent with 14-day composite value low, period. So to summarize this, as I've said, we're long from the 30-day VWAP, which was confluent with the developing month VWAP as per tweet, and have just taken a good amount of profits at the 14-day composite value area high. If Bitcoin is bullish I need to see the 14-day composite very low hold. Nose is itchy as support. Confluent with newly formed H4 demand for a move into the naked value area high at 121.7k. That being said, don't mind the typos. That being said, we have a monthly close coming up, which will give us new previous month value at roughly 120k. This will be our bearish line stand going forward. Simply said, above bullish, below bearish. So the narrative for next week is going to be, stalking the 14-day composite very low, confluent with 7-day rolling VWAP for potential longs on a sweep into the H4 block, and the upcoming previous month value area high for continuation trades, or a rejection, at which I will look to get short for a move towards previous month VWAP. Pretty simplistic approach. Hypos. Let me show you guys on the chart. So, what we need to be looking at here is the 7-day VWAP confluent with the 14-day composite very low. Look, the H4 chart here. The developing month value area high has been capping it since we ever closed below, right? So this is big ass resistance. Until then, rotational, right? Now there's H4 demand here, confluent with the 7-day rolling VWAP and the 14-day composite very low. Meaning, let's get rid of this. My OCD can't really take it. That means if H2, need to have like a proper look here. If we're getting this, right, the opportunity where we remain range bound on Monday, maybe before Monday's low there, and then boom, on Tuesday we flush Monday's low into H4 demand, reclaim this as support, I'm getting long, or I'm adding to my longs, and I'm targeting the poor high into the naked value high, right? That's my long thesis here. In terms of, this is the A plus trade in my opinion. The more aggressive approach would be trade higher, spike this high, don't really trade above this high yet. I wanted to form equal highs right there, right? Because it gives a reason for the market to come back up, right? To rebalance that inefficiency. Time and space, similar to what we saw, for example, right here, but I want to see that right there. Time and space, sweep it, maybe all the way back into the 14-day composite, but we're getting like a close above in the form of, an hourly candle or an H4, whatever. Unable to reclaim that as resistance, I'm getting long, and I'm targeting the highs into the naked value high and potentially new highs. The only bearish case here for me would be to spike all of the highs. I don't know how high we're going to go, but let's say that we remain here, right, until the monthly close. And then we spike the highs, and then instead of holding then now it's a developing month, but then it will be the previous month. Then if we close below previous month value high, it's a failed auction above value in my opinion. And at that point, I'm looking for shorts for a move back into the 14-day composite very low, and then into the developing month. And at that point, it's going to be the previous month VWAP. That's the game plan for Bitcoin on Bitcoin for me going into this week. Is that clear for everybody? Let me catch up on the chat. Let's do a bit of a Q&A here. As the low from this week swept the previous week swing low, would you now target the previous swing high? I don't really focus too much around weekly swing points. I just look at where the anomalies are based on TPO. That is why you see me targeting a naked value area high, for example, on this chart, confluent with the poor high structure there. I don't really focus too much on the candlestick formation where you're like, okay, we swept this low, now we need to go towards that previous week high. I know it's a typical trade structure for naked chart traders, but for me, I don't really put too much emphasis on that. I just want to position around the anomalies based on TPO and VWAP. The indicator for VWAP, it's my own indicator that you're getting here within prime trading. I'm sure there are plenty of other indicators that have not the same values, but they're coming close, so you don't really have to. So compression, if this is our level of interest, right, resistance, compression is actually not, look, if we auction lower, right, and then we break back within, we've got a high there, right, and usually we form supply here. Now, the A plus trade is when we get time and space and then come back into the level, right? At this point, I don't know if it's going to be a rejection or compression. I wish I would, because at that point, I'd be a fucking gazillionaire, and you guys as well, right? If I were to know what the difference would have been, right? I don't know if this is going to be rejection or compression. But if I continue to see this, where the market continues to come back up towards my entry, makes higher lows like that, at that point, I'm like, yo, do I really need to be holding on to this trade? Or is this an indication of compression against resistance? And are we about to pop higher? Usually the best trades are like this. Acceptance back within value, time and space, retest, immediate continuation lower. Like that's what you want to see. And I'm looking at this on a 30-minute time frame, right? Great question. Yes, I am. Is the 14-day composite very low a buying opportunity or not? Yes, it is. And it's because it is confluent with the 7-day rolling VWAP. And, you know, it's confluent with the H4 as well. So, you know, this is resistance until proven otherwise. We're just ping-ponging. We're doing this like we have been doing, right? Oh, we're so bearish. Oh, we're so bullish. Oh, no, we're really bearish. Oh, really bearish, really bullish, right? Really bullish, really bad. My bro is just, they're chopping everybody up. And if you don't really know where to look for trades, then, you know, it's harsh. But at least we did a good series, right? I think, we caught a good week with that video series. We do not trade at the point of control. I do trade at the point of control. Because one of the laws of market dynamics, right? If this is, you got one law where we have value. Whenever we accept within value, we're likely to rotate towards the opposite extreme. But the only law that puts this law on the left side, where it's like, nope, not gonna happen, is the law where we have a strong point of control rejection. So let's say that we're getting acceptance within value, and then we're trading at the point of control, and we're getting like a large exhaustion bar or a huge amount of trap shorts here at the low. At that point, you'll really need to ask yourself, yo, do I want to be holding on to this short because it needs to go there? Or do we have new data to work with? And I'm like, okay, it's time to close off the trade because maybe we're going to do this, right? That's why. Yes, for a trading system, I would highly advise to just use previous month values. Not previous month, but just previous VWAP values. And in terms of TPO, don't focus too much on previous value. I know a whole lot of people who are making entire, chapters about fucking trading a previous day, the day types, right? Whenever we break away, oh, this is a double distribution trend day. Who gives a fuck, right? Where's value? Where's point of control? Do we have single prints? Do we have anomalies? Those are the questions that you need to be asking yourself. Not like, oh, this is a fairly neutral balanced day. I'm pretty sure that we're going to be doing this, right? Nope, that's not working. Especially not in crypto. Maybe in equities, but in crypto, nope. Bitcoin will be bullish. Shouldn't give easy entries, but the negative value from Friday and the poor lows from the week can make up some good. Yeah, exactly, Jan. So I'm thinking like if we're getting it, then we're probably getting a quick rinse heading into Monday, or maybe we've got FOMC this week, right? So that would kind of line up with some uncertainty, some hedging heading into the event, and then boom, we're getting that expansion higher. Like that would be typical. But usually when we're having such a violent break higher again, like the repricing that we're currently seeing, like there's no cheap entries anymore, in my opinion. If you want to know more about executing trades, then just don't join Discord, bro. I can't be sharing all the sauce here. Do you use previous value, high value, low? No. So that's a great question, Jake, as well. So when we are in a trending environment, when there's no value overlap with composites, yeah, at that point, yeah. But when, I always tell the people within the Discord as well, where I'm like, okay, if the market is trending higher, there is always going to be at least a 2-day composite, right? At least a 2-day composite. And then we know 2-day composite, above bullish, below bearish. Simple as that. No need to chase, right? But if the market is in super strong uptrend or a downtrend for that matter, I'm going to be putting emphasis on previous value, as in, do we open the day below or above? If it's above, I'm looking for longs for continuation. If it's below, I'm looking for shorts for continuation. I think ETH wants to have 4K-ish, man, because we're accepting back within that 2-week value. Front run this low though. That's a bit shabby, but the previous year, look, if we quickly take a peek here, Ethereum on the yearly, right here, look at that. Like this is looking good, right? H12 block, like we talked about within the stream last week on YouTube, I mean, right? That low might be getting some upside here. Developing month, support. You're still long from 29.70. Oh, that's good, man. Nice. Scalping as in, Jake. I'm not a scalper, bro. I got 2 kids. I ain't got no time to be trying to trade like a $10 range. I don't really do that. So I think that's a good wrap. In terms of altcoins, we might just do another stream later this week, but I want to cap it here at Bitcoin. Got limited time today. For those of you in the Discord, I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning. And yeah, if you made it this far, smash that like button on the streams. Help me grow the channel. My goal is to reach 10K subs by the end of the year. I think it's doable. It's going to be harsh, but it's doable. So yeah, keep wrapping it. And I will see you guys within the next week. And have a fantastic Friday. Damn. Bro, I'm getting old. Have a fantastic Sunday. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, man. Peace. Fuck.